Hello. Hello, and welcome to this afternoon taste challenge. We have two American 3-year aged blended whiskeys. So this American blended whiskey is called Banker's Club. It is distilled. It's probably a blend, was obviously a blend of whiskeys distilled in America, but it's bottled in New Jersey by Regent Distilling. Butch Willie says, hey man, hello to you, Butch. Regent Distilling, and I got the website listing below. Introduced in 1969. They produce a whole line of Bankers Club products. Looking at the website, Bankers Club Bourbon, which I've seen, but I haven't bought. And I got so much bourbon I cannot buy it. Bankers Club Brandy, I know where to buy that. Total Wine and More. Bankers Club Blended Whiskey, which I bought at Total Wine. Bankers Club Gin, Gold Rum, Silver Rum, Blended Scotch, and vodka. Okay, so there's your lineup. The competitor is Iron Wheel Kentucky Blended Whiskey, also aged 3 years. This is produced, distilled, aged, blended, bottled in Kentucky by, the bottle, Buffalo Trace, Ancient Age, McAvee's Old Number 8, even Canadian Hunter is put in the same exact bottle. Blend ratio is different. This one is 80-20, your minimum allowed blend ratio. Only 20% straight whiskey. This one is 25% straight whiskey. They're both aged 3 years. 3 years. Will it matter? Probably won't matter too much. Introduced 1969, introduced 2019. 50 years later. All right. Price. Price. This one will run you about $16.99 for the handle, which is very cheap. And this one was $8.99 for the 750. So their price point is comparable, okay? Comparable. I don't know how you feel about New Jersey bottled whiskey, but when you think of whiskey, usually you're thinking of what? Kentucky, not New Jersey. But there is a place up there, and they've been around for a long time. You've probably heard of Laird's Applejack. I've yet to try it. Got to put a little more here. Okay. The Bankers Club is a little lighter. The one over here is a little lighter. This one's a little darker, but they're both in that chestnut color scheme thing. This is day number 20 of clear, sunny, and dry days in Louisiana. The 20th day of 2023 that it's been sunny and dry. Not too common, but we get them. Isle of Fire says, I'm surprised no one has yet to make a copper rum or iron rum, etc. Right, yeah. Gold, what they make, silver, gold, or black. No color, some color, and a lot of color. All right. Taste, aroma, and taste time. Cheers. You get in the bourbon, the vanilla, the charred oak barrels, the candy corn. You get in the grain spirits, the ethanol. Yeah, same thing here. Maybe a little fruit. Fruit. What kind? What kind of fruit? I don't know. Can't say for sure. So the aroma is not exactly identical like I thought. If I go cheap, I always get Canadian whiskey like Windsor or Canadian Club. Good choices. What do you think about Rich and Rare and Canadian Limited? You ever tried Rich and Rare Canadian Limited or the Northern Lights? Those are three cheap ones. And Canadian Lake is really cheap. And they're all made by Sazerac. All right. Taste. Cheers. It's like the same old story every time. Vanilla, a mild bit of charred oak, corn, candy corn, honeysuckle nectar. These are made for people who don't like the heavy char of bourbon, really. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get bourbon and blended whiskey for the same price. So you don't have to pay. It's not like, oh, well, blended whiskey, like some people will say, blended whiskeys for people that don't want to pay a lot. They don't have the money to pay for bourbon. Well, it really doesn't make any sense because you can get straight bourbon. I can go and get Kentucky straight bourbon 1 mile away, aged 3 years, sour mash too, for $8.99, and I paid $8.99 for the Iron Wheel. It's not really that. It's that some people don't like the bourbon because they find it's too strong, too bold, strong, harsh, whatever you want to call it. But the blended whiskeys be soft. They'll be softer because of the grain spirits, unaged, and they're not exposed to charred oak. So they find it's mellower and it mixes better. Just what some people think. Why do you think Seagram 7 Crown is so popular? Because of advertisements. You never see Seagram 7 Crown advertisement on TV. So it's just what people prefer, okay? Do I prefer blended bourbon whiskey? Well, I like stronger flavors personally. Like I like the really hot sauce. I like really like super tartness. So yeah. What I just said about the other one, it's the same here, but maybe a little bit more grain spirit. So they're both mellow. If you say, oh, you're saying, oh, I can't take those strong whiskeys. I need something mild, no bite. It has to be super smooth and easy drinking. I can't take anything harsh. Well, these two would work perfectly because A, they're inexpensive. B, they're smooth and mellow and mild. And C, they should be a very versatile product for highballs, cocktails, and all that. Now, 70 years ago, blended whiskey was extremely popular. Then, like with bourbon, it kind of faded with vodka and tequila and rum. Started kind of taking over to the conversation. And then now, from the last 25 years, the resurgence of bourbon, I guess you could say blended whiskey hasn't exactly experienced that resurgence, but it's around. I mean, every liquor store in America sells it. So we're talking about American blended. We're not talking about blended Scotch, which is super popular, as evidenced by Dewar's, Johnny Walker Red Label, Chivas Regal. You know, blended Scotch is super popular. Blended Canadian super popular. But American blended has its place for sure. I mean, these stores are not going to stock 5 to 10 to 20 different brands, depending on the size of the store. But I mean, every liquor store is going to have a number of blended whiskeys. If it's a small store, it might be 5. A mid-sized store be 10, then be 20 when you big warehouse stores. Let's see. Comments. Burley Sullivan says, you. Butch Willie says, I never had those two, although I've seen Canadian Limited all across the wine and spirits in Pennsylvania. Yeah, Canadian Limited is really big. It's one of the top 10. It's actually one of the top 10 selling Canadian whiskey brands. True story. We all know what the number one is. In fact, Crown Royal is the number one selling whiskey brand of any type in the United States. I've had some bad high-priced bourbons. I haven't had any bad ones, wings and pizza, but I've had some that I couldn't understand why people were paying $89. It's like $89 for a bottle. Yeah, it's not really better than the $12 bourbons I've had. And I'm not being sarcastic. It's just my experience with some of them. I myself like the heavy bourbons. I do too. I'm into the big smoke on scotch, the heavy char on bourbon. But, a lot of people, they say, oh, no. Well, not everyone lives in Louisiana either. Not everyone has those prices. Can't compare them here. Canadian whiskey is always cheaper. Yeah, right. So Louisiana is a baseball state with a drinking problem. Well, I said it backwards. Well, both ways. I guess it goes both ways. Louisiana is a drinking state. Louisiana is a drinking state with a baseball problem. Louisiana is sort of a state motto. Let's have a drink. But I like to try different ones because you might get lucky and find a good quality bourbon for a really decent price. Yes, you will normally find that. My worry is that more of these companies will jump on the same train as Anheuser-Busch did, and I won't be able to drink any more liquor. Haha. Well, maybe they've learned their lesson, right? So, why make an effort to attract something that makes up less than 1% of the market when you alienate 80% of your market? Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Sometimes you forget you can't compare your prices to everyone else's. Oh, no, I don't forget. No, that's not true. I always remember. I'm just speaking on Louisiana prices. Now, as far as Canadian whiskey, I know I can go to Walmart right now and buy Canadian Limited for $7.92. Regular bottle. True story, $7.92. So I don't know if you can go to Canada and get a Canadian blended whiskey for $7.92. I don't know. You might. Maybe it's $5.92. I don't know. I can get, talking about that, I can get Caliber Canadian, which is a pretty darn good Canadian whiskey. Caliber Canadian for $6.96 a bottle. It's not going to win any awards, but it's not going to disgust people. It's nice. Remember when Eagle Rare was not reasonably priced as wings and pizza? I don't, because I didn't get into the whiskey thing until recently. So, but my friend David says he remembers when Eagle Rare was $19. Yeah, this is fine. It tastes like whiskey. Corn. Yeah, same story here. Is it better or worse than a blended Scotch or blended Irish or blended Canadian? I wouldn't say it's better or worse. It's just a different approach. So, with the American blended whiskeys, your straight whiskey is going to be what? Bourbon. So you're going to get that bourbon flavor because the neutral spirits are going to be neutral, right? So you're not going to get any flavor from that. Canadian whiskeys, okay, you're going to have your grain spirits, but they're going to age for 3 years in a barrel. But then your flavor is going to come from your rye whiskey, your barley malt whiskey, and your wheat whiskey if they add wheat. So it's going to be a little bit different approach. And then the Irish whiskey, same thing. You're going to have your single malts. Scotch whiskey, you have your single malts. It's going to bring in the flavor, which all malt whiskey. But yeah, I can't say it's any worse. Shane Giggy says our cheapest Canadian whiskey for a regular bottle is $25. Oh man, I can't explain it, but I know I can get them for $7.92. Canadian Limited, Rich and Rare, Caliber. Those are three right there, three off the bat that are less than $8 all the time. Well, I gotta go, y'all. The Iron Wheel label reminds me of the Wheel Horse label. Well, I don't know about that one. I never heard of it. But Iron Wheel is well, I wouldn't call it popular, but it's gaining. When I first bought it 3 years ago, I didn't see anything about it. Now I'm seeing 20 different liquor stores online selling it. So it's around. It's gaining. Maybe if it gains some more, Sazerac will put it on their website. All right. The Wheel Horse label is also at a similar angle. Okay, they might have copied it. You never know with these companies. All right, so as far as what's better or worse, there's no. They're the same. It's even. So if you buy Iron Wheel or I couldn't remember the name, Bankers Club, it's even. So the only consideration here would be the price. So does the 25% straight bourbon versus 20 make a difference? Yeah, it doesn't seem to. It's minimal. I can explain it, says Shane. I can explain it. We pay excessive amounts for everything because we have ridiculous taxes because of our free healthcare. Right. You see, Canada, like United Kingdom and other Commonwealth countries, they have governments that give them all these free services. There's only one little problem. Their governments have no money. They don't have a job. You know, the government of Australia doesn't have a job. The government of Canada doesn't have a job. Their money comes from the taxpayers. So when they're giving you free things, the way it works is they take $6 out of your left pocket and then they put $5 in your right pocket and say, look at this. You got $5 worth of free stuff. This is a worker's paradise. I mean, it's not like America where you got to pay for things. So the people say, oh, yeah, we're getting a great benefit. You say, well, wait a minute, there's $1 missing. Well, they have to charge fees and services, you understand? All right, handling, postage and handling. So, right, says Shane. So, but then the people fall for it. They'll say, yeah, get all this free stuff. No, it's not free. I have seen the Bankers Club vodka, but never the bourbon. Oh, yeah? Well, we get the bourbon. We get all of them. Total Wine carries the whole gamut. They carry the vodka, the gin, the obviously the blended whiskey, which I have, the straight bourbon. They carry the vodka, the brandy. So would I like to try them all? Well, I would like to try them all. But it's a matter of expediency. I don't know. It's going to take a while to get to them all. All right, but that's it. So it's a tie. It's a tie. Now, can I tell them apart? I seriously doubt it. Let's give it one more try. Man, I'll tell you. I'm going to say it's Bankers Club, but I have no confidence in this. So if I win, I didn't really win. It is Bankers Club. That means I'm an expert and I never fail. No, but honestly, it just means it was the luck of the draw. I couldn't really tell it apart. So you can go with an old brand that's been around over 50 years, a brand that's been around over 50 years, Bankers Club, which is not ever drunk by any bankers in any clubs. Or you could try Iron Wheel, which is very nice. And the dollar is the winner. Yeah, so whichever one is cheaper, I'm telling you, Olive Fire, you're right. Whichever one is cheaper, buy it. Butch Willie says, I wish more people in America had the same mindset as you personally as well. Oh, I do too. because then our tax rate would be about 2% every year instead of this extortion. All right. Well, anyway, thanks everybody. Be back hopefully Monday. Who knows? It might pop up Sunday for more taste challenges. We appreciate your support.